Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Live with Roger Hanson. Today's topic is Tech Talk, and I have with me Mark Edworthy. He is going to be the first one here with us in Tech Talk. Today, I'm going to go and review some of the stuff that we talked the last time we had Tech Talk on the first episode, and hopefully we can get Bashy in here. You want to say hi, Mark?
Hi. Hi.
But yeah, I was talking before the stream and everything to Mark, and I told him that I'd gone over some of this stuff and I reviewed some of it, and it was pretty interesting what I came up with. Well, first I did get a article about Novell. Did you know that they actually lasted a lot longer than what you thought they did?
From the 70s to the my software companies, from the 70s to the mid 90s? No, mid 2000s.
Yeah, they made it all the way up to 2014.
Yeah,
That's pretty.
actually, technically 2018 that the brand name ended.
That was something that got me right there. The hard one for me. I'm sorry. The hard one for me was finding the firewire that you guys were talking about.
Oh, the cable.
Yeah.
The Apple used in the early 2010s.
They went according to the numbering. It was IEE 1394. And the only place I could find it was on Wikipedia. So I couldn't believe that. But the one thing that really stuck out to me was this management information system. What do you know about that?
That's really just another term for an IT and information technology department that's mainly dealing with the management side of IT rather than the user-facing side. So
Yep.
servers and infrastructure maintenance.
They were talking about like different levels of it too, like when it comes to the computer software and everything. And they were saying like it goes all the way from general management, like we were talking about. Then you had what was it? It was the tech department.
It's a sort of all-encompassing term. It's generally used these days as an all-encompassing term. From general maintenance, i.e. making sure that air conditioning, telephone systems are up and lighting systems are up to servers are running, the servers got the right software on them, and so forth, and backups.
They were talking about like advertising too, like these programs even does the marketing and the advertisement. Like, you know how whenever people give feedback and stuff to businesses,
Mm-hmm.
these programs literally take that information, put all the data together, and then gives like analysis and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The like I said, management system. So making sure that the groupware applications are, making sure that the content, customer relationship management's off, making sure that the data is going to the right departments and the right people.
That's pretty complex.
Mm.
It was like last week when we were talking about general management. I was thinking, like filing systems and stuff like that, and that's pretty much what it was. Well, that's what they explain at the beginning of the article that I pulled up right there. Um, it's a uniform system used for decision making and for the coordination, control, analysis, and visualization of information in an organization. The study of management information systems involves people, processes, and technology in an organizational context. It's really interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, it goes into all different parts of a company. So, after all, human resources departments need to make sure that they've got their internal databases of employees that needs to be managed and organized. I don't know, finance departments need to make sure that their payroll systems are working.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've got like 5 eras, and they're talking about like the mainframe and the mini computers back in the 1960s, and then the personal computers and client servers, enterprise software, and then the cloud computing.
It's quite a wide-ranging.
Yeah, they were. It's down towards the technology area, though, is where where it says. Let me see. Yeah, the term Management Information System, MIS, Information Management System, IMS, Information System, and then IS, Enterprise Resource Planning, Computer Science, Electrical Computer Engineering, and Information Technology Management, which that would be IT, I guess.
Well, same name for all of them. Or same. It's just different words for the same meaning.
Yeah.
They
say it's like MIS is more organization focused, narrowing on the leveraging information technology to increase business value.
Well, using business speak, yeah.
Computer science is more software focused, dealing with the application that may be used in MIS. Electrical computer engineering is product focused, mainly dealing with the hardware architecture behind the computer system. And see, that's what I was more talking about right there.
So making sure that your employees got the right computers with the right software on it, and making sure that you've got the right wiring. Your computers are connecting to the mains and Ethernet ports.
It says ERP software is a subset of MIS, and IT management refers to the technical management of an IT department, which may include MIS. And then they start talking about a career in MIS focuses on understanding and projecting the practical use of management information systems. The studies of interaction, organizational, and processes among technology, people, and information to solve problems. I felt like I just wasted an entire freaking breath reading that one sentence. I was like literally having a hard time with that.
you get the concept about well, DMI's department just sort of deals with all the technical sides of all the other departments.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting when I was reading all this stuff too, because they've got all this stuff broken down, like really broken down. And then the computer software that goes with it too. I lost you, didn't I? Yep. I lost you there, didn't I?
Lost you for a sec.
That bad boy keeps getting me. But yeah, they do. They break that stuff down. It's amazing.
Mm.
Now, this canary testing thing right here too. When I checked that out, it was pretty interesting. They talk about canary testing and how it allows developers to test new software on a group of users before launching.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do they have that kind of setup going with Minds?
Yes, mine has got option to allow community members to view what Minds calls experimental features.
Mm-hmm.
So functionality that is yet to be pushed out to the platform fully.
Because last week or the week before, that's the one thing that really stood out to me was canary. The term was, and so like I said, it took me a little while to find some of this, but it was interesting when I did find it because like this right here, it makes a lot of sense about Facebook. This article was talking about how Facebook does their canary system and then Google does it a different way. And they say that all these different platforms, would do canary testing, but it's all on a different setup. A lot of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, individual companies will have their own procedures.
And with Google and Facebook, those two especially, they push out their tests so fast that it's like they just keep bouncing it in and out. You know what I mean?
I mean, companies like Microsoft will much allow a certain group of their customers to have experimental functionality for the purpose of feedback.
What you were talking about with a special group of people that does the testing and stuff and gets to see the experimental stuff. That's what they mentioned at first. And
generally end users rather than it's obviously gone through the internal testing and quality assurance on the mid-management testing, and then it will be given to a focus group.
Yeah, it says usually it's 5% of the users.
That again depends on the individual company.
Yeah,
could be more, could be less.
They said there's different stages, and this one is Synology C2, and they say they've got it for their Synology colleagues. That's the first stage, and then the second one is early adopters, and then the third stage is of testing is the remaining users. So, and stages, and these test groups are canary tested in stages, starting with Synology colleagues and moving down. And Features are released in small increments to users, i.e. from 1% to 100% of users.
Obviously, over amount of stages. Some of this functionality could be pitched out quite quickly, and others could be pitched out over months, depending on the complexity and the purpose of functionality.
Yeah. And right here is where they get into Facebook. They said Facebook uses a quasi-continuous release cycle to achieve rapid release at massive scale. With this method,
So something like a rolling release of
yeah.
Yeah.
It says with this method, committed changes are batched together and pushed every few hours, making rollbacks easier and delivering code at a rapid rate. This technique is deployed following adjustments after internal testing. Canary deployment takes place throughout the production phase and it steadily increases from 2% to 100% of production using a continuous monitoring system to detect issues. That would probably be, well, that makes sense with Facebook because they're all robots.
That are all humans. They're going to be looking at the code and looking at the sort of end usage.
Well, they're robots too. I mean, seriously. Or Google, on the other hand, uses an automated release system called Rapid. Rapid uses blueprint files. Now, this is the interesting stuff right here. Okay. Rapid uses blueprint files that contain build and test targets, rules for deployment, and admin information for configuration. Rapid also,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Specific. Read those 3 rules out again.
Rapid uses blueprint files that contain build and test targets, rules for deployment, and admin information for configuration.
So deployment. If they want only, let's say, they're testing to go out to a certain demographic or certain country, as an example, they will just push it out to a certain amount of people, users within that demographic, then set a configuration for that purpose.
That's interesting. And it says Rapid also utilizes canary testing for each release cycle following the completion of systematic tasks, i.e. sandbox environment. A small percent of tasks implement canary deployment, which are then followed by additional canary tests on large groups. That's weird. I know generally, like in gaming and everything, what a sandbox environment is, but like, is that different when it comes to the bigger picture?
In what sense?
Well, like sandbox games is like games like Minecraft with the.
No. When they mean sandboxes, they mean sort of protected environments. Let's say a virtual machine or an environment where only a certain amount of staff or developers or users have access to.
Okay.
Could be outside of the main platform.
Okay. That's interesting too, because I was seeing that when we were talking about virtual machines the last time. Now, whenever I was checking out that thing with RAID, I remember going through something where they were saying that the difference between a server and a virtual machine is the graphics cards. Isn't it? They add graphics cards to it.
Now, think of servers as being actual physical metal boxes that are stored in a room somewhere, and virtual machines are actual software-based machines upon that virtual machine on the hardware.
Okay.
So you could have, in theory, one physical computer split up into 5 different virtual machines.
Okay. So they're actually talking about like what was it? There was one that I used to like. It had the cube. Well, I think it might have been called virtual machine. It's where you can get it on the internet. You can like make a virtual Windows program to where it looks like you're on Windows, but you're not really on Windows.
No, this is more sort of virtualizing emulator, or not emulating, but virtualizing the hardware. So rather than sticking your operating system on a bare metal machine, you're sticking it within a virtual machine upon that bare metal machine.
Yeah, it's the one I was thinking of is this one right here. It's VirtualBox. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, that's just a quite popular sort of virtual machine that is generally used for sandboxing purposes. So, as far as the average individual is concerned, if they want to test out a operating system, and let's say a Linux-based operating system, and rather than reinstalling their entire computer, they will have a virtual machine on top of their desktop or their environment.
Okay, so I do have kind of an idea of what you're talking about then. Okay. I just wanted to see because like I said, I'm no expert at all this stuff. I've dabbled around with it, but now I know what a sandbox environment is. So and then that's pretty much everything that I took from it. Most of it's just C2 trying to freaking sell their product.
Okay.
But I thought that was interesting though about all that. That's as far as I got in the reading for today. Like whenever I was trying to catch up on it, because I've been doing my editing, getting my uploads ready for next month. Then I was able to go back through our last video and pull that stuff out, and I think those would be pretty good topics. Now, especially talking to you, like when we were talking about the management information, the cloud storage and everything would fit perfectly in with that, with management information system, because they mentioned that being the last era of the management information system. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, again, like all services, computer services, someone has to manage that and make sure that those cloud services are installed and being accessible by the customer or end user.
It just amazes me though, like after talking to you, because like I know about VirtualBox, you know, and just the thought that freaking a computer system being freaking virtual like that. You know what I mean? Like, not real. So whenever we're looking at a program on the computer, it's not really a freaking program. It's a virtual program.
Well, the program itself, the software itself is real. It's just the machine.
Yeah. And that's just completely, I mean, you don't even know what you're looking at. I mean, being honest, it's just pretty amazing.
In things like internet hosting and virtual servers, virtual machines are quite common. So think of a data center that might have might be providing internet hosting. You'll have let's say a machine with maybe 100, 200 virtual machines on, each with individual customers' data.
And see, that's big time too, because like now with a setup like that, like how much memory would you have to have, like physical memory, and how strong will the freaking computer have to be, or does it?
That's all dependent on specific use cases.
I mean, just to run that many, wouldn't it take a lot of?
It can do. Again, it depends on the setup of the company, what they're using those virtual machines for.
Yeah. Because I know on a VirtualBox you can actually connect your physical hard drive up to it, or you could create your own hard drive. You know.
Yeah. So the virtualized hard drive where you've got the files in a larger file in the container file.
That's interesting. But I know that you have to have the physical amount of memory in order to virtualize that same amount.
Yeah, you can't sort of create a memory out of nothing.
Yeah. So say you wanted 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes of virtual memory, you're going to have at least that amount of memory on your computer to cover it.
Yeah. If you want, let's say, 2 terabytes, you're going to need. Got to remember that not the virtual machine takes memory, but the underlying operating system takes memory. The thing that's controlling the virtual machines.
Yeah, that's right.
So in your case, you've got 2 terabytes of memory for the virtual machine, so you've got another half a terabyte of memory for the host.
Yeah, and it is true. I didn't even think about that. So I thought that was some of the cool stuff right there. That's pretty in depth too. Like
Yeah.
that I was reading through what I did read, and then I never got to the cloud storage and how it works. I wanted to hold off on the RAID and stuff like that, because that was something that we were talking towards the end, and you posted links for me to read. And I said I'd hold off and wait for it, because that was something else.
That we get, and that can become a very complicated subject.
Yeah. I still want to do it though. I like that. The thing that gets me about all that is like if you hook it up and you run it through your house as a network, you know, and say everything crashes, but you still have that running, you can go back and you can pull back information from a day before and restore.
Yeah, you can synchronize storage, so you can synchronize machines. So let's say you've got a database running on one machine, and it's just always updated and constantly updated. You can get us to synchronize with another machine.
Yeah. Then when I did the RAID 1, I think it was, where you had to have 2 hard drives.
Yeah.
You can actually, I found out you can actually use the link from that, hook it up to all the other computers through that link on your IP, and it would actually connect all those computers to that freaking RAID machine.
Yeah, that's a slightly different form of RAID, but yeah, you can rather than having multiple storage, so hard drives on your host, all mirroring each other. You've got separate machines
That's
making communication with each other.
That'd be pretty good. That'd pretty much be a network right there.
Mm.
But so, with all that stuff, what do you think? You got anything you want to say about that?
Really, you were talking about cloud systems. Cloud itself is a bit of a misused term. Where you get end users saying, well, this is stored in the cloud, this document is stored in the cloud, or I can access my email from the cloud. Cloud is really just a number of different factors, such as the infrastructure that is allowing that interface that platform is running on. So, which might include things like the wiring and the actual machines themselves. And then you've got things like software that is sort of end user facing.
Now,
So,
what exactly is that? Like, I noticed you referred to that 2 or 3 times now. The phasing, is that what you said it was?
facing.
Yeah, you just now said it.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said it's with the wires, but then it's actually part of phasing or something like that.
Infrastructure. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by phasing.
Yeah, I swear you just said it. You said it a couple times, man, and I keep wanting to say something and I keep forgetting.
Infrastructure I keep on talking about, but
you just keep talking, and next time you say it, I'll point it out. I swear I will, man. Because this makes like the 3rd time, and I was gonna say something, and I keep forgetting. But I finally did it. It's like now, on like the cloud storage, okay, like. I've heard so many people say stuff, okay, like the cloud is supposed to be like this invisible thing up in the clouds, you know what I mean? And they compare it to like the dark web, basically, but not the dark web. Is any of that true?
not sure what you mean. The dark web is just a marketing term for the places of the internet that you aren't meant to go to.
Yeah. Even with that, I was told that was like old, obsolete programs that nobody really freaking use anymore, and it got lost.
Again, the dark web per se is just a marketing term. It's meaningless on its own.
So I mean, you got so many different theories behind what it is, but it just sounds like to me nobody really has any good theory on it. You just kind of try to come
Again,
up.
it's a general marketing term, really.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, seriously, I don't know of any good explanation for what the dark web is. You know, I know they got really cool commercials saying that they can protect you from the dark web, but you know,
It's one of these concepts just to create a simplified phrase to
market.
Yeah,
Just market it.
to obfuscate what they actually mean.
You know that 1 out of 8 people are being getting their identity stolen every 8 seconds worldwide.
Citations needed.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other day I seen one saying over 2 million people have been victims of identity theft. I'm like, 2 billion? Are you serious? Where'd you come up with these numbers? Because there's only like 530 million people in the United States.
Oh, 6 billion people
Yeah.
international. Yeah, so that's not too bad.
How did they get the statistics on that one, man? Did they go to freaking Afghanistan and say, "Hey, man, somebody steal your identity"? You know, maybe they went to India or China or some country like that and took a survey with them and stuff. Like, that's a lot of people. 2 billion people. It's that one that LifeLock. Like
2 billion or 2 million? Who said 2 million?
They said 2 billion. Like 2 billion people. I'm like, are you serious? You're actually going to get on a television commercial and say 2 billion people are freaking victims of identity theft. Like, how are you going to back that up? You know?
And what do you define as identity theft?
Stealing their credit card information, making it to where they lose their houses, stuff like that.
I don't think 2 billion people lose their houses due to some sort of identity fraud.
Yeah. You know,
I doubt it.
You know what's the perfect defense against freaking identity theft? Low credit score.
Don't go on the internet and don't give anybody your identity.
Nope. It's a low freaking credit score, dude.
Okay,
Keep your credit score. Keep your credit score low. And stop trying to freaking build it up and be Mr. Somebody or Mrs. Somebody. And just live a normal life with a low credit score, and nobody's gonna want to steal your shit. You know what I mean? Most of these people who get their identity stolen have their names posted all over the internet as buying this and buying that, and they've got freaking debt up to their ass because they're paying for it. You know, and then all of a sudden somebody's stealing their name and driving a freaking brand new car that they don't have to pay for, you know? And that's how I see it. It's kind of like, you know who thieves want to freaking rob? They want to rob the people with bars on their windows. You know? And you know why they want to rob them? It's because people who have bars on their windows has shit in there, dude. Okay, so if you stop putting bars on your windows, people aren't even going to look twice at you. You know?
There's logic in that.
Now, don't get me wrong, if they're living in a mansion, they got freaking like a lot of property, yeah, okay, that's just a sign that you got money. But I'm saying, like, an average person in an average neighborhood, why do you want to have bars on your front door, bars on your windows? Because you got something in there that's worth money, you know?
Advertising when you've got stuff, yeah.
But I don't even know why I went on that tangent. it's the dark web, and then that uh, that lock thing. That's what it reminded me of whenever we were talking about the cloud storage, because like, do they even know where that information goes to once it gets put on the cloud?
Well, yeah, the individual companies will have their own, like I said, infrastructure. So yeah, their own storage, um, and depending on contracts, may pass it over to other companies.
So other people have your information too.
Possibly.
Don't
That's why I
sound.
always say read terms of service agreements.
That doesn't sound too good. Now, that that's a good thing to bring up then too. If they're like that, what was that on Mine's Canary the other day? You were talking about that one setup that Mines was involved with. What was it? It was that server that we were talking about the other day.
Remind me.
I can. It's probably on there. Yeah, it was just a couple days when you were talking about it. Not
I've spoken about a lot of things recently.
Yeah, I can find it real quick, but it was a server that is connected with other ones, and it's completely encoded and stuff. Yeah. It's up by where it was that double image and stuff on there.
EJ.
Uh,
Sure.
yeah, it was too far away. I was actually checking it out because it was pretty cool what I was reading there, and I went in there, and well, we were talking about Odyssey.
Yeah, the US SEC legal issue,
Yeah,
or Libra library even.
yeah. Now, that new company, or that new platform that Odyssey is getting hooked up with.
Yeah, not a new platform.
Well, not a new one for. I'm saying it. Other than being associated with the Odyssey library, they've moved away from them, and they're joining up with these guys.
Was it Ariva? Ariva?
Yeah, something like that.
What are those called? Which is the providers of what Minds was using up to recently for their permaweb
Yeah, permaweb.
feature. Yeah.
What do they call it? The something verse.
The federal, or what? These marketing people call the federal first, yeah. Federated content. So content that is going to go on some sort of, in this case, some sort of blockchain, and is able to be shared with other platforms.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about. Like the opposite of the cloud would be, where you'd get hooked up in that. Wouldn't it be harder to find information and stuff on a system like that than what it would be if you put it on the cloud?
I don't know. Arguably, it is another form of cloud. Again, it's only as hard as the search functionality that's been built around it.
All right. So you're basically dealing with the same kind of concept as what you are with the cloud if you're dealing in that stuff.
Well, like I said, the cloud is a very sort of generalised marketing term. So
Yeah. That's pretty interesting right there, too. Okay. I just flipped over to the general thing, and Penguin Juice has a photo of a guy on a motorcycle pushing a casket behind him.
okay,
You see that?
yeah.
Hey, somebody just say something.
Yeah.
There he is.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Mr. Robot? He's there.
Not how I'd like to go out, but I respect it.
I just seen that's that Mr. Penguin. He is an interesting character, man. He is interesting as hell. Did you hear his story the other day when I asked him how he got the name for Mr. Penguin? Or no?
Yeah, something to do with John McAfee.
It was interesting. I wish I should really try my best to keep this stuff because I love stories. And when people say stuff, penguin juice is what it was. When he said that, man, I'm like, that is so cool, dude. Like, how the hell did you come up with the name Penguin Juice? But
I assume the penguin had something to do with Linux, no?
It was something to do with a soft toy, and
the foot broke off of it, and they had it up on a cabinet with a piece of a glass sitting on it on a counter, and freaking the guy come in and he knocked the penguin off, and he thought he had broken it, and I guess something was said, and he ended up getting freaking called Penguin Juice from that point on, the guy who broke the penguin. And then later, Penguin Juice, the guy on here, ended up getting called it too, so it's really weird. That's probably Penguin Juice.
Hey, Bashy.
Hey, there we go. Is that Bashy?
hi.
Hello. Hello, Bashy. She's here, but I
Shine.
don't. Well, she's right there. We'll put her up front, make her to where she's showcased. Hello, Bashy. She's like, I'm gonna turn this off.
How many people are we expecting for this?
We never expect anybody, man. It's just basically you. Now, before we get started with the intellectual stuff, I want to ask Mr. Robot something that's very important. Give us your view on cybersecurity.
Well, first of all, it's increasingly becoming more and more important. You know, especially now with the whole AI thing. I grew up in the good old days of when there was no cybersecurity at all, and basically any hack that was out there worked. You know, and when you could still send Trojans around and it would go totally undetected, and you could take over someone's computer pretty easily with Windows and whatever. But you know, now antiviruses are getting pretty good, and Windows Defender and stuff like that is getting increasingly good as well, as long as it's kept up to date. So I'd say your average user, you know, as long as they keep their antivirus stuff and their software up, like operating system and software up to date, they're probably 90% okay, maybe even more, and people that are more like power users and tend to, download random software, random files, stuff like that, torrenting, whatever, they probably get a little bit of increased risk. But I would say the biggest risks these days, like low-hanging fruit, would be random files from random people in emails, and accidentally getting some kind of keylogger on your system, or getting some kind of ransomware on your system. Those kind of things can screw someone over pretty badly. I've had some friends get their Gmails compromised, which sometimes it even leads to Facebook first being compromised, and eventually, because they reuse passwords, they use bots to spray the password across accounts, and their Gmail or something gets compromised, and then from there their banking gets compromised because they can reset the password, and they don't have two-factor on important accounts, Yeah. So I've had friends get their banks drained multiple times from these silly mistakes. So I would say these days a good thing is a good open source password manager, and creating unique passwords, nice long character passwords for each account, so that this password spraying doesn't affect you, because it's very common to have low-level accounts get compromised around the internet. It happens every day. Breaches happen, database breaches, even freaking Twitter and internet service providers and telecommunication companies. They all get compromised eventually,
Yeah.
So yeah, password reuse is a big killer these days. Other than that, there's not a whole lot else I could say other than specific attacks.
I got a question for you.
If you're looking at nation state actors and people like that, then you get some pretty interesting, sophisticated attacks. But it's rare for an individual to get individually targeted, unless you're a Julian Assange or someone or Ed Snowden.
Do you think that potentially unwanted programs are becoming a growing threat on the internet, or do you think that they're just harmless and they can be dealt with?
They've always been a threat, but I think they will become more of a threat with AI, because it'll become easier to find flaws using automation. Being able to check and verify the authenticity of an application that you've downloaded, looking at the PGP keys or something like that, or I think some use SHA, some still, I don't know how long they will last, but yeah, having some way to verify that the file is the correct file is a good thing to do going into the future. And it's a good skill to have anyway, and it's good to practice it now while you still can.
I've got
Mark probably knows a bit.
Oh, go ahead.
There's also the common sense factors. I've seen so many people putting passwords on yellow sticky tapes and slapping that to the monitors, or using the mother's maiden name as a password, and telling people, when asked, telling people about the mother's maiden name.
Yeah.
So there's a common sense sort of factor involved.
Now,
I saw a girl. I had to put her sign into her Spotify on one of my devices, and I saw her password was password Spotify. I'm I can't believe people do that. I'm are you freaking kidding me?
I suppose it's better than password 123.
I've actually had my suspicions about some of these supposed security freaking programs too. Like for me, like McAfee, I would never freaking buy anything that has McAfee on it. You know, because I personally feel that they're the ones who are causing a lot of the viruses, so they can get business. You know, and then like I've had a friend of mine. He brought up a good. He brought something up that was pretty good about that one program that got out my clean PC, and he did a check on his computer. He cleaned it up with malware, anti-malware or malware plus, I think is what it's called. And after he did that, he ran my clean PC on it, and he let him bring in the error reports and everything and the detected viruses. And he went and he checked these files that they were supposed to have on there, and what they were actually doing was going into his computer, to his registry, and they were detecting freaking empty key files that were in his computer, and then reporting that as potential dangers to his computer, you know. And he said that basically that's what they do on that one, is that they look for everything in the registry. So
for Windows.
I follow a few malware analysts and reverse engineer people on Twitch, and I saw some interesting malware the other day. As soon as it gets on your system, the first thing it checks for is like SSH keys, which means that they can basically log into your computer through a backdoor. They check your browser passwords. If you save any passwords in your browser, it'll just like siphon them off, which is why it's better to keep passwords in a password manager and never in your browser. And it will look through your registry for accounts, and and it'll just like automate all these processes to snap up all the private information in your computer and send it back to a central server. So yeah, and another thing, just while I'm thinking about it, is phishing is a big avenue of attack these days. Like it's requires very low skill levels to convince someone to give them a login or to give some private information that allows you to reset an account or something like that. So
yeah, such as my mother's maiden name example.
yeah.
Yeah, or finding like a random site that pretends to be your bank, or like some other, like your email or something, and it's just like, oh, you need to reset your password. Type in your old password, and then you get to reset it, and it'll have like a fake form and stuff like that. Obviously, you have to check your URL bar and your what is it called, TLS, HTTPS secure credentials and stuff like that. If you see like it knocks you over to a HTTP site, then that's a red flag usually. Sometimes I actually had that today. I tried to log into my bank, and for some reason it's just like, you're not on HTTPS anymore, but you're on the right site. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So I actually had to go search for it through the search engine and find it that way, and then it was on HTTPS again. So that could have been a malicious site somehow, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing to look out for.
I've heard the biggest ones is the search engine viruses. Like they've got these search engines where it'll redirect you every time you do a search. And you can go through and try to freaking clean up your browser. You can reset your programs, whatever, and it still does it. That's one thing I have heard. It's within your browser, and it's a search engine virus. So it takes you to.
It could be DNS cache poisoning, or it could be a man-in-the-middle attack. I've never heard of a search engine virus. unless it somehow sits in your browser and redirects,
I
which
forgot.
kind of would be a man in the middle attack.
That's pretty interesting. I've never even heard of that. So now, Bashi, you want to talk? You said you had just a little bit of time. I can't hear you.
Huh.
I think she's on mute. Oh shit.
Hello.
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 Okay, there you
Okay.
are. I heard.
Okay.
I lip synced that cuss word you said.
I said what? Because I got confused.
Okay.
So you haven't heard me at all
No.
since
No,
I
no,
joined.
you've been
Great.
fine.
So yeah, like you wanted me here, so
Yeah. Yeah. The me and Mark was talking before you guys got here, and the one thing I wanted to get your take on was this management information system. Do you know anything about that kind of stuff?
not really, not sure what that is.
It's
Actually,
you want to explain it?
it's quite a broad term. There's a sort of term meaning the management of IT systems within the company. Quite a broad term.
Like you have general management, then you have tech what was it, tech support, then you oh wow, what the heck is that? You hear that? All right, but then you have your just your, it's doing it again.
I think it comes from Mark.
He's Mark's.
Sorry, I can't hear anything.
You can't.
Oh, I can hear you obviously, but I can't hear any background noise.
You can't hear the humming. Here, I can pop it. The management information system is an information system used for decision making and for the coordination, control, analysis, and visualization of information in an organization. The study of the management information system involves people, processes, and technology in an organized context. In a corporate setting, the ultimate goal of using management information system is to increase the value and profits of the business. Now, in the first era, they used mainframe and microcomputers, and that was during the 1960s. The second era, they used personal computers, PCs. And the third era, it was the client-server networks. The fourth era, it was the enterprise computing software, or enterprise software, also known as enterprise application software, EAS. Now, the fifth era is supposed to be cloud computing. The technology behind it is the terms management information, which is a system, which is MIS. It's information management system. IMS, information system, IS, enterprise resource planning, ERP. Then there's computer science, electrical computer engineering, and information technology management, which is IT. And they are often confused. MIS is a hierarchical subset of information systems. MIS is more organized, focused, narrowing in on leveraging information technology to increase business values. And then it says computer science is more software focused, dealing with the application that may be used in MIS. Electrical computer engineering is product focused, mainly dealing with the hardware architecture behind computer science or behind computer systems. Then ERP software is a subset of MIS, and IT management refers to the technical management of an IT department, which may include MIS. So that's basically what I was talking about.
Very broad definition.
Yeah. So that, and then they start talking about like different types, and like there's the decision support systems, and then you have the executive information systems, marketing information systems, accounting information systems. They even do human resources and office automation systems. Do you know anything about any of that?
Quite a broad question. Trying to be a bit more specific.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like
That's a bit broad.
it was like we were talking about before. They said like there's actually, other than humans, there's actually a computer program that's set up to take care of that stuff, and like each different department within a business would have certain access to different levels of that. You know what I mean? Like your general managers, or you know, the guy that's involved with tech, they would have certain areas that they would be involved with. Then the guy up at on top would have all the information. So that, I guess that would be your general manager. You know.
So in the sense of let's say a call center, having each individual employee with a list of customers, clients, and the managerial, the middle management will have access to all those customers' information and the staffing performance information, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And then like they'd have to make sure that like with mines, you know what I'm saying? Like what's his name? The guy that's the general manager, he'd be responsible for making sure everybody the programs were working properly, and that customers were getting their payouts and stuff like that. Or
well, I think you're talking about someone like Nick, so more to do making sure that general administration routine processes are completed.
Yeah.
May I, slightly off topic, do you have any questions related to mines? I thought this call was supposed to be, like, I was supposed to be here on mines related stuff, and like I have kinda small amount of time, and yeah.
No, we were this is just basically about tech talk is all it really was. I mean,
more of a general conversation.
Yeah, then I guess I will go, because like I have stuff to do.
Well, I knew you had a really fast time period that you had to be in and out of here, so that's why I was asking. I didn't know. Yeah, we had you on the round table last time with the questions and stuff. It's just
which was more mine specific, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then I will try to join sometime that one. I just don't have time to just hang around. It's 9 p.m. for me. I need to do dinner and stuff, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. You're welcome. Bye-bye. Have a nice stream.
You too. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I was talking about with all that, you know, and then what we were talking about earlier with the canary testing and stuff, you know, that made sense with me on well, like we were talking about with the canary support and everything, doing the canary testing and stuff. So after that, I was talking to you about the virtual machines and stuff. So we pretty much went over all that. Now on the firewire, yeah, the firewire and the lightning connectors.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what regulation is that you guys were talking about that they were wanting to set in with the EU and California? Is there anything more specific that you can like bring out on that?
In what sense?
No, what kind of regulations are they trying to do? Are they trying to make it to where it has to be like a universal plug or some stuff like that?
Yeah, a universal connector for mainly power delivery, but for data, well, mainly power delivery anyway.
And,
So all of your phones, all of your tablets, all of your portable devices all have the same connection or connector.
okay, so with that, now Dan was saying that would actually affect or it's affecting Apple. Now, is that true? Like, are they like losing big on the competition between the USB with these plugs or with the lightning plug-in?
As far as I am aware, all new devices, all new products must have USB-C for the purpose of charging.
Okay, so basically that lightning connector's on its way out then.
Yeah, but Apple has been wanting to get rid of that for some time anyway. They've been slowly reducing lightning anyway.
Yeah, because I remember you guys were talking about that before, and I figured I'd bring it up to kind of see what's going on there with that, and I believe that's all I had at the moment. That I wasn't able to read anything else about the other stuff because, like I said, I was trying to go through and get everything caught up, but that was actually one of the things I was curious about because, like, especially with the EU right now, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on over there, man. Like, they just did that deal with freaking Activision and Xbox, and mentioning the cloud, that was one of the stipulations with them, to where freaking they could do the acquisition, Xbox and Activision, where they had to put their games up on the cloud system, and they made it a point that they had to put those games up on the cloud system. You know what I mean? Like, that was a stipulation.
Like, I've not read any reports
But
recently with them, so
I guess they got the okay through the EU, as long as they have a chance to go back on it if Activision and Xbox backslides on their agreements. You know what I mean?
again, they would be legal agreement, so
Yeah.
it'd be breaches of contract. But again, I've not read very much on this, so
Well, it's just like that
Always
stuff
annoying.
just like that stuff you was telling me the other day with the Rumble. You know, that's That's some pretty serious stuff too. So, like in England, what are they wanting to do? They're wanting to get rid of or make it illegal for any platform to be encrypted.
You're talking about the digital, the what was it? Safety. It's just I can't remember what it's called now. No, I've been talking about it recently.
Because I remember going over it with you guys or a little bit there. Because at first I thought, because we were talking about brand at first.
Yeah, the online safety bill, the UK online safety bill, which looks like it's going to be enacted any time or sometime soon. So the idea is to be able to regulate online platforms and end users, like the UK regulates TV and radio broadcasts.
So they're basically trying to turn it into a utility.
Making sure that so-called misinformation is not being published, or making sure that so-called hate speech is not being published.
Oh my gosh, that's credit, or that's crazy. That's nuts. So they're basically doing. I mean, to me, I hate saying it. I don't like getting political about stuff on different topics, you know what I mean? But that's what it sounds like. It's all like the whole, well, socialist, basically, shit. Like the, what do they call it? Politically correct.
Okay. Yeah, making sure that everybody says the correct thing.
Yeah, and stays in their freaking safe spaces. They want everybody's information to be checked, have fact checks and set up, probably make sure nobody's lying, stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I was wanting to find out about, that, see what's going on there. So yeah, well, that's pretty much all I got right now. So is there anything you want to say?
Okay. Just going through your list of things that you wanted to speak about.
Now, if you want, we can come back later and do it. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it going until 6 or so, and I'll just stop the recording until everybody comes back in. You know what I mean? Because Dan's gonna want to come in here and do some stuff. So hopefully he does.
Okay. I'm going to be here most of the evening, so if you want to have my input on anything, just message me.
All right. But yeah, like I said, I'll have the stream going, so, and I'll keep monitoring it, and if anybody comes in, freaking I'll hit the record button and keep it all going, so it'll have some stuff recorded. So the most important part I had to do is actually do the introduction, and that was about it. So, but so
anything interesting?
Well, we're talking about general management, and then I also brought up something that we discussed last week, which was, here, let me see, well, it was with general management. We were talking about management information systems. I was trying to talk about that, and then the canary testing, and like you know how we have Mines Canary support and everything.
Yep.
I was wondering if that was the same concept as what they're talking about with canary testing, because I know that. Well, now,
It's supposed to be. I wish that they would do more with the canary stuff. As far as like, hit me up. Hey, tell me to look at this and test that. You know, like,
yeah,
give me your input on this specific thing, not just here they are. Here's all the features. You know, like,
yeah,
don't say nothing about what kind of input you want back. You know.
yeah.
You mean like what I did during the user interface changes?
Yeah.
A year ago, 2 years ago now.
Well, not only just the UI, it's every time they implement a feature, they don't say anything. They just throw it out there.
Some
Or they'll give us a brief like, okay, we're going to implement this tomorrow. It's like, what?
Well, some functionality doesn't actually need any sort of further testing.
Yeah, true.
These bigger sort of things, such as the change in the user interface, where they may want to get feedback.
Well, I know before I met you, though, Mark, being honest with you, I didn't like freaking telling those people I had a problem. Because every time I told them that I had a problem and they went to try to fix it, something else messed up. Especially whenever I was on Linux. I mean, Linux is horrible when it comes to Mines. Because, like, the downloads, or uploads, I mean. When I have to upload videos and stuff, I literally had to open up like 4 tabs so that none of the tabs would freeze up on me.
There's been issues in relation to browser freeze in the past.
So, I mean, I can kind of relate to that and say that, well, I don't know when I finally started. I think it was whenever I wanted my money. I was getting greedy. I was like, damn it. Hey, freaking, I don't know, man. That's kind of broke my heart when they came out with that new shit they came out with. I don't know how to take that, to be honest with you, where the payouts are going to change. I guess.
I hope it's better, but it's inevitable to come to a point to where there's too much saturation. Like there's too many people on Mines Plus, and nobody is nobody's making any more money because everybody's on there.
Oh man, nobody's gonna send me a freaking what is that? Freaking the
Supermine?
A Supermine. Nobody's gonna send me that shit. I haven't had a Supermine yet, dude.
I've had a couple. I've accepted only one because my channel is more tailored than a lot of people's. Obviously, I don't want every single. I don't want to. I saw one general one just earlier today asking people what makes them smile, what makes them happy, or something. I glance that sort of content on my channel.
Yeah.
Because my channel, I've got my channel to a point where it's focused upon certain subjects.
People smiling on Mines, is that what your channel's focused on?
Yeah, I can't remember the actual word and what makes you laugh or what has made you laugh in the last X number of days or something.
I'd almost bet that has to do with algorithms.
It's just a way of promoting Supermind function.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah, then it's more of a promotional sort of. Here is an example of a supermind. This is what you can do with it.
now they said that on the after the first, you should be able to cash them in for like cash payments and stuff. I don't know about all that.
Cash
Yeah,
what in for cash payments?
Huh? The
Yeah,
super mines.
Don't have to wait until the staff release an article on this.
I think they already did. Didn't somebody already share one?
Not seen any recently, not within the last week or so.
Let me see.
I think there was a very sort of
It was a short one.
it was a very sort of generic thing. It lacked any information.
I can't even remember what day that was.
It was just more of a marketing thing.
Yeah, they were just trying to tell the changes that were coming, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was very sort of lacking of detail.
I just don't know how all that's gonna work out. You know.
Have y'all played with the Fediverse any?
I looked at
We
it.
and stuff.
What's that?
Are you talking about their implementation of Nostra? Nostra.
I guess it'd be Noster. Is that what connects everything to the Fediverse, like pub activity pub and all that?
The activity pub has not been released yet as a Minds function. Nostra. I know Bosch is working on updating the support platform's documentation at the moment, or the previously asked questions. So, and I did note about a month ago in GitLab that there is no documentation for Nostra yet.
Dr. Cassoni, that's a channel on Minds.
Yeah.
At Dr. Cassoni, he posted about his experience with the Fediverse, and it was interesting. It gave me a little bit of insight, but it wasn't quite enough to get the full, like, how do I use this? I understand that I've got to go make a website and it's linked to this and that, but I'm not sure exactly how to go about doing that.
Yeah,
It'd be cool to have a tutorial on the Fediverse.
Yeah, this is why we need improved documentation or improved support articles and general blog articles on this sort of stuff.
I know they were talking about that the other day, and I went on and kind of browsed at it. The website that I remember being talked about in help and support was it started with a P. I'm thinking it was a P. Like Prometheus or some shit or something like that.
Well, there's different so what do they call it? Sessions or instances, in different instances that allow people to use their instance. Like you can access the Fediverse through their instance. So like an activity pub, I guess. And there's other ones, but they haven't. I guess Facebook and Instagram are working on getting into the Fediverse.
Again, the Fediverse itself is to say another marketing term. The thing you've got to understand is that we get terms like the Fediverse, the cloud, crypto.
Yeah.
None of these are mean anything.
I gotcha. They're kind of a catch-all for
Yeah.
something that's more nuanced.
Yeah.
I gotcha. So, yeah, it'd be nice to have some kind of tutorial from Minds on how to use and access.
It's crazy too, because like everybody's got something. Like right here, I was trying to figure out the name on my history, and there's a guy that I was talking to. He wanted me to transfer files with him off that one, I guess, program. It's called. Have you ever heard of Kiwi?
What about Kiwi?
Kiwi. He wanted me to transfer that off it, and he's like always preaching about free internet and open source and shit. And I was like, dude, Kiwi has nothing to do with that shit. What the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
he's like, just because
The newest thing to free internet that's got the name Kiwi associated with it is a open source Wikipedia client.
Nice.
Well, I mean, you can call it open source, I guess, but I mean, it just sucks. Like, if you take a file and you try to transfer it, it stops in the middle of it, and then it might take a day, it might take a week. It just depends on when Kiwi wants to transfer that file for you.
I'm not familiar with this
I mean,
service.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it either.
It's just really messed up. That's all I know. I cannot find it nowhere.
Well,
That name's gonna drive me nuts, because I know. I mean, I was just looking for it the other day. Alright, I was just on it, checking it out the other day. It was
also, Kiwi isn't that a social media platform called Kiwi Farms?
no, it's just QIWI.
Okay. I was thinking kiwi as in the fruit.
Yeah, that's what I was. I caught on to that. I was like, I bet you that's what he's thinking. He's thinking the fruit. Freaking I think I'm getting close to it, actually. Yeah. Now they were wanting me to do a thing. I think it's tomorrow. We're going to do conspiracy, and Robot wants to do something on the vaccines and stuff. So I don't know if you'd be interested in that. Do good.
Possibly. You might not want to stream on YouTube. You'll get flagged for medical misinformation.
I never stream on YouTube when it comes to this stuff. I might upload it, but I mean, it's a lot easier for them to catch you with a stream than it is an upload.
Yeah.
So the only thing I've ever really streamed on there was like video games and stuff. But,
Gotcha. I was streaming and well, me and Bob Dub, and we got flagged for medical misinformation twice.
That's crazy.
Once for like just streaming Jaffe Ryder, his Pirate Radio Network show, and that got him this medical information, and then another stream where we were just, me and Bob were having a conversation, that got flagged. And I'm guessing we were talking about the jab both of those times. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Whatever.
See, that's crazy.
Fuck you too.
It's And see, the thing that was messed up with me is I had more of an issue with Facebook than YouTube when it came to all that stuff. Like, they're even freaking worse. Like, I would go on there and I'd make videos, and that's what stopped me from freaking getting all that free music shit. Like, you'll go on YouTube or you'll go on Facebook and they'll say, hey, we got free music libraries for you to use. So I went on there and I used them. Well, somehow those same songs and that same music that I put on my videos, after about 6 months, a year, freaking, it's no longer freaking no copyright. Now all of a sudden they got a copyright, and I'm getting a copyright infringement off of music that Facebook gave me.
Yeah.
You know. And
they're supposed to be sending that to the creator of the music.
Yeah,
like, that's their new thing with the reels and YouTube Shorts. They're doing the same thing. Instead of having to flag everybody for constant what is it, copyright strikes.
Yeah.
They're just taking the revenue that the creator got for that video, and whatever music they use, they're sending it to the creator of the music, a percentage.
Copyright owner.
Right.
So the creator of the music might not be alive anymore.
Right. Which I think that's pretty cool. Like, you still get paid and they get paid.
Uh-huh.
Well, I heard that they've if you're not being monetized, you're okay on a lot of them. But like, if you want to be monetized, then there's a good chance that you can't be monetized because you leave certain music on there that they say you can keep on there with permission. But if you become monetized, it could be prevented from making money off of it. So that's probably where that goes.
I know of a set of...
Yeah. He left. Probably not of his own free will. Or was it me? I was the one that got booted. Yep, that was me. Let me go in here and do it again.
A way of making cash through social media and video content.
I mean, for me, I gave up on wanting to do anything with YouTube.
Well, I just wanted to stop by and say hey and throw a little bit in the ring, whatever. But I might stop by again. I just got a couple of things I'm working on, errands I'm running.
I hear you.
I'm doing 3 different things all at once there.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I said,
driving,
I could put
going
this
and
on,
filling out applications and different things.
Put this on the chat room.
Saw y'all
If
here.
you guys want to come in, man, just come on in. And
Yes, I'll see you maybe in a little while.
Okay.
All right.
Peace.
You guys have a good one. Yeah, if you want, man, I'll just go ahead and do that, and we can get back together later. Give you some time to do what you need to do. All right? Can you hear me? Hold up. Am I still? Yes. I'm still muted, man. I could not believe I was sitting.
I thought I lost you there.
No, I was muted. Well, you did lose me. Then I came back on, and when I came back on, my mic was muted. So, but if you want, man, I'll just change the view here to the chat thing, and then later on we can meet up here again and stuff, and I can hit frickin' can up and everybody, and we can do something there. I did get all that recorded too, so we've got that.
Okay, that's great. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to log off, and then yeah, if you want to ask me anything, to send me a message.
Alright, I can do that. And like I said, I'm gonna go get some stuff done real quick too, and I'll put this on the recording. Or
Okay.
not on the recording, but on the chat room, so that way we can have that filmed. Get some cool film footage of everybody acting like a fool.
Yes, again.